So there are various different research approaches. Obviously, this course will focus primarily on single case design. We will do a quick overview of the other research approaches as it is important to know and have um, a conceptualization of these so that you know no matter what your research question is, what the best approach is. Um, so, in general, experimental design studies are defined as an investigator's manipulation of an independent variable to verify what effect it has on a dependent variable. So, that includes a clear description, operationally defined target behavior, predictions about that behavior based on your intervention, and then testing of the intervention on the behavior. If the prediction proves true, we consider that a functional relationship. And if we can replicate that design, it's considered evidence based and possibly best practice. There's also a quasi experimental research. It's very similar to overall experimental designs. However, investigators don't randomly assign participants in the group study, but they use other methods to control for differences. Again, if the hypotheses are proven true, then we consider it a functional relationship between that dependent and independent variable. There's also group research where investigators determine control and treatment conditions, typically with a large number of participants, so more than around 30, for example. And within that group research, we have one random we have the participants randomly assigned to either a control group or an intervention group, or multiple intervention groups if there's multiple going. So you always have a control group, and then you have another group of participants that are assigned the intervention. Single case is very different in that it's also quantitative experimental research, but the approach is different. We have each participant is exposed to basically the control condition and also the intervention condition. So that participant will experience a baseline, so a period of time where no intervention is put in place. That same participant will then experience the intervention condition and then will interchange between those. So baseline intervention in order to prove that functional relationship. We will go into much, much more depth on single case, obviously, as this is only the first week of the course. That's a really broad overview. The remainder of Chapter 1 will go into several threats to internal validity. So, when we have really any research, we want to control extraneous variables as much as possible so that we can prove that functional relationship, so that the behavior change is really due to our experiment, our independent variable, and nothing else. So, the remainder of Chapter 1 does a brief overview of several of those areas that can be threats to internal validity.